How do you solve 5 times the quantity 2x plus 7 is equal to 45? Well, what does it mean to solve this equation? Well, you may notice that this equation contains a variable, the letter x. Our job is to find the value of x that makes the equation true. So I'm going to show you two different ways to find the value of x. And the first step would be to write the given equation. So 5 times the quantity 2x plus 7 is equal to 45. Now I'd like to remove the parentheses from this equation, and I can do that by multiplying each part of this expression by the number 5. So I'll multiply 5 times 2x and 5 times 7. And when I do that, I'll be using something called the distributive property of multiplication. So 5 times 2x would be 10x. And 5 times 7 equals 35. And 10x plus 35 equals 45. Now to solve for x, I need to get x all by itself. But right now, we have the number 10 multiplying it, and then we're adding 35 to that product. So my first step will be to subtract 35 from each side of the equation. And when I do that, we get 10x, and 35 minus 35 equals 0, so that cancels out. And that's going to equal 45 minus 35, which is 10. Now remember, I'm trying to get x by itself, and right now it's still being multiplied by 10. But if I divide each side of the equation by 10, I'll only have one x on this side, which is what I want. So let's divide each side by 10. Well, 10x divided by 10 is just 1x, and I can just write it simply as x. And 10 divided by 10 equals 1. So the answer to this problem is that x equals 1. But to be sure, let's check our work. And we can check our work by substituting the number 1 where we see x in the original equation. So the original equation was 5 times the quantity 2x plus 7, but now we know that x is 1. So we can write 2 times 1 plus 7 equals 45. And 2 times 1 is 2, plus 7 is 9, and 5 times 9 equals 45. So it checks. Now I'll show you another method. We'll start with the original equation. 5 times the quantity 2x plus 7 equals 45. This time, instead of using the distributive property to remove the parentheses, I'm just going to divide each side of the equation by 5. 5 times some quantity divided by 5 just gives us the quantity. So we're left with 2x plus 7. And 45 divided by 5 equals 9. Now I can subtract 7 from each side of the equation. And that gives us 2x equals 2. And now I'll divide each side of the equation by 2, and we end up with x equals 1. And that's what we got using the first method. So when you're solving algebra equations, there's more than one way to go about it, and you should choose the method that's easiest for you.